It all started with a gut-wrenching crunch of metal and wood that shattered the morning quiet. I was in the kitchen, brewing coffee for my wife, Emily, when it hit. I knew that noise. It was the fourth time in 6 months I'd heard it. Peering through the window of our cozy home in Willow Creek, a tidy suburb outside Seattle, I saw the rear of a jacked-up silver Yukon retreating from our curb. My mailbox lay in ruins on the grass, splintered like a broken promise, with a week's worth of mail scattered in the wreckage. Laughter sharp and cruel floated from the SUV's open window. "They did it again," I muttered, my voice tight. Emily, my partner in this suburban nightmare, slid her arms around me, her breath soft against my neck. "Let it go, David," she whispered. "It's just a mailbox." But it wasn't. It was a declaration of war from our HOA president, Laura, and her sister, Veronica, her loyal enforcer. Since we'd moved here in the spring of 2024, they'd made our lives a slow-burning hell. Why? I had no clue. Maybe they hated our blue front door. Maybe they caught me smirking when Laura tripped over a garden hose. Or maybe they were just petty tyrants who thrived on control. The first time our mailbox was smashed, I chalked it up to a bad turn. I filed a police report, but the officer barely glanced at the tire tracks leading straight from Laura's driveway across the street. "Happens all the time," he yawned. The second time, I emailed Laura a photo of the wreckage. She sent back an HOA rulebook, circling a clause about proper mailbox upkeep, and a bill for a new post. The third time, I sank a steel pole into the ground. They hit it harder, denting their Yukon's bumper, which only fueled their rage. Each police call got me no proof. No witnesses, just a cursed mailbox. At an HOA meeting, I showed doorbell cam footage, but Laura, perched like a queen at the community center table, waved it off. "Board matters only, Mr. Carter," she sneered. Veronica's smirk burned into me, a taunt that screamed, "You're powerless." I'm a planner, a guy who loves order, not bullies. Emily had been through hell the previous year, battling illness. In this house, our garden was her refuge. These sisters were trampling it with their designer heels and gas-guzzling beast. My stubborn streak, which Emily called both my best and worst trait, kicked in. If the system wouldn't help, I'd build my own. So I did. I dug a 3-foot hole, poured 800 pounds of concrete, and set a steel pole. Around it, I crafted a mailbox that looked standard but was a fortress mounted on heavy springs to absorb impact, with a magnetic lock tougher than a safe. The kicker? 2 canisters of washable neon orange spray paint rigged to douse any attacker, plus a motion-activated speaker blaring my voice. "You've hit something. Better check." My Uncle Roger, a tinkerer with a flair for chaos, loved it. "Make it play heavy metal," he cackled over the phone. Or a dog barking. I stuck with my message. 2 weeks later, it paid off. Another crunch, but this time, the Yukon didn't escape. Its front end was crumpled, tires shredded, steam hissing from the hood, and the whole front was drenched in glaring orange. My speaker chirped away. Laura, behind the wheel, looked stunned. Veronica, cursing like a sailor, stumbled out, her rage palpable as neighbors filmed the chaos. The war wasn't over, it had just gone nuclear. We'd bought this house in Willow Creek for Emily's Gardena-tangled backyard she dreamed of turning into a haven. After a year indoors, fighting to heal, she deserved it. The brochure promised a welcoming community, but Willow Creek was a pressure cooker run by Laura and Veronica. Laura arrived our first week, clipboard in hand, measuring our lawn and tooting at our non-compliant trash cans. Her smile was cold, her voice dripping with judgment. Veronica, a hulking figure, just glared, her silence more menacing than words. They ruled like dictators, and I tried to play nice, mowing the lawn, repainting the trim, hiding the cans. But compliance didn't satisfy them. It marked us as prey. The real fight began over Emily's garden. She'd spent weeks sketching flower beds, her eyes bright with hope. When a truck dumped soil in our driveway, Laura and Veronica materialized, citing unauthorized landscaping. "Rules are rules, Mr. Carter," Laura purred, while Veronica growled, "Move it or pay." It wasn't about dirt, it was about crushing Emily's joy. That night, as Emily looked heartbroken, I called Roger. "HOAs are tiny fiefdoms run by board control freaks," he said. "Read their rulebook. They love their rules, but never follow them. That's your weapon. I dove into the 300-page HOA bylaws, coffee in hand, hunting for their mistakes. The next day, a fine arrived for Emily's wind Chi gift from her mom claiming noise complaints. I knew it was a lie. Our neighbors, the kind elderly Browns, loved them. This was personal. I found their weak spots. Fines needed a 30-day warning. We got none. Complaints had to be signed. None existed. And the architectural committee Laura claimed to lead didn't exist, appointed herself dictator. I drafted a letter citing every violation, sent it to every resident, and watched the neighborhood buzz. Neighbors called, sharing their own stories of absurd fines for bikes, paint colors, basketball hoops. Laura's response: Veronica on my porch, her voice a low snarl. You'll regret crossing my sister. The threat hung heavy, but their retaliation was petty mayonnaise smeared on our car, trash cans dumped. Emily grew scared. What if they escalate? She asked. I installed cameras, but doubt crept in. Was I protecting her or dragging us deeper? The tide turned when I targeted their finances. With 150 homes paying $600 yearly dues, the HOA raked in $90,000. Their budget was vague, hiding big expenses. I requested detailed records. Their lawyers stonewalled, claiming vendor privacy. Suspicious, I approached the treasurer, Paul, a nervous accountant. He admitted Laura controlled everything, just signed her checks. Then Mr. Lee, a quiet neighbor, pulled me aside. His wife, a former HOA secretary, had quit after spotting Laura's credit card abuse, spa trips, fancy dinners, all buried as maintenance. She'd kept copies of statements, including a $2,000 monthly payment to a law firm in Nevada. This wasn't petty theft, it was a cover-up. I dug deeper, linking the payments to a hit-and-run in Nevada from 2019. A college student, Claire, was left disabled, the driver never caught. A forgotten social media post showed Veronica with a red Corvette in that city, dated a week before the crash. My heart sank. The HOA money was hush money, hiding a felony. I needed proof. During the HOA's summer picnic, I slipped into Laura's office through an open window while Roger staged a smoky grill disaster. I copied her files, bank records, legal agreements, and audio of Laura and a lawyer discussing payments to silence her sister's mistake. Then, a bombshell, a birth certificate. Claire was Veronica's daughter, given up for adoption. But the dates didn't add up. Veronica wasn't the driver. Laura was. She'd hit her own niece and let Veronica believe it was random, funneling HOA funds to cover it. The HOA meeting in August 2024 was packed, tension thick. I stood at the podium, laying out Laura's violations: fake committees, illegal fines, embezzlement. The crowd murmured as I projected credit card statements. Laura's gavel slammed. Slander, she cried. I pressed on, revealing the hit and run, the payments, and Claire's identity. Veronica's face crumpled, her grief raw. Tell her, Laura, I said. Tell her you hit her daughter. Laura broke, sobbing. I didn't see her. I panicked. Veronica's wail shattered the room. Sirens approached. Tide tipped off a cold case detective. Laura was arrested. Veronica vanished, later moving to Nevada to reconnect with Claire. The HOA dissolved, replaced by a fair committee. Emily's garden bloomed, her wind chimes singing again, a gift from Roger. But the truth left scars. I'd exposed a monster, but at what cost? Justice wasn't clean, it tore a family apart. As Emily smiled in her garden, I wondered, was it worth it? What would you do if you uncovered a secret this dark? Would you expose it, knowing it'd destroy lives? Or let it stay buried to keep the peace? How far would you go to protect your home, your truth? Share your thoughts below, hit like if this story gripped you, and subscribe for more tales that pull no punches.